Hey guys, I heard you had a question for me?
Yes, we did.
Given that you've been in space for 6 months, what we wanted to know is, what is it specifically that you miss about Earth cooking as opposed to space cooking?
Well, we can reheat and rehydrate our food up here. You can't really prepare it. It's prepared for us already on Earth. It's in packages. So after a while, you really miss fresh vegetables and fresh fruit, especially after 4 or 5 months on space station.
You haven't had fresh fruit in 6 months? I'm sorry. Because this is really good.
We get a few kilos of fresh fruit and vegetables every 2 or 3 months when a resupply ship comes up from Earth and docks. But it's just maybe 1 apple or 1 orange each, and it doesn't keep because we don't have good refrigeration. It's been quite a while since I had a fresh green apple.
That's rough.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any better method than you guys do for getting fresh fruit up to the station, but we did ponder that as long as you've got 1,100 person days worth of rations up there, maybe our friend Tracy Desjardins can concoct something that's both fun to make as well as deeply satisfying to eat.
Thanks, guys. I can't wait to see what Tracy comes up with.
Thanks, guys. We're here at the Johnson Space Center at the Food Science Lab. I'm with Tracy Desjardins of Jardiniere and a bunch of other awesome restaurants in San Francisco. Tracy, we've tasted a bunch of food.
Very interesting experience.
I think the vegetables aren't nearly as bad as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
They're actually very tasty.
Kind of like a rice cake.
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to taste all this stuff and rehydrate. I bet it tastes better like this.
What was your favorite?
I think the steak. I'm going with the steak.
So it's therm-stabilized.
Therm-stabilized, and this one didn't have any seasoning on it. Everything else had like sauces and stuff.
Okay.
So this one was pretty plain. I don't know. You tried the burger. That was pretty plain too.
The burger was pretty plain. It was a little salty. It was.
Okay.
It was. It kind of reminded me of like a cafeteria hamburger from like elementary
Right.
school or middle school, something like that. But
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. But it wasn't something I would probably seek out.
Right.
So after tasting all this stuff, what are you thinking about making?
Well, I think I'm going to make a sort of steak. The tortillas are too small for a burrito, but that would be what I would be thinking about. So it's going to look kind of like a quesadilla, but it's not really. So yeah, this is the steak, and I mean it looks kind of like just regular old steak. Right?
It looks worse than it looks worse than it tastes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got some black beans here, which I'm going to kind of squish up a little bit.
Okay.
And put a little black bean puree on there.
So if Commander Hatfield's making this in space, what's his procedure?
So he's going to have this. He's going to have a steak. These are both going to be warm.
Okay.
All right. And he's going to have this tortilla. He's going to squirt the beans on. Take a couple pieces of the steak, stick them in
Kinda
there.
tear it up with his hands, or-
and a little crunch here. I like a little texture. I think that's lacking in a lot of this food. So some of this freeze-dried rice.
Okay.
A little crunch.
So you're not going to rehydrate it
No, I'm not going to rehydrate it. I'm going to put it on there just like this.
Okay.
As a little crunchy element.
and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And a little Tabasco, and that's it.
That sounds great. Let's put it together and
Okay.
see what it tastes like.
Let's do it.
Everything has Velcro patches. It's amazing.
and isn't it cute?
Yeah, it's really neat.
Little buttons.
I mean, they think of everything.
So I'm going to open up the steak.
Okay.
I'm going to take the beans and squish them a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to make like a little bean
They recommend
puree
you do
in
that
there.
with the therm-stabilized stuff anyway. You kind of
Right.
mix it up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So we're going to kind of do a little puree-ish thing going on here. Cut our little corner. I'm imagining that I'm in space right now.
I notice you have your hair back so you don't have the crazy astronaut hair.
Exactly. I'm going to tear this up a little bit into some little pieces.
Okay, so just bite-sized chunks, basically.
Yeah,
Don't wanna
exactly.
choke.
We don't have any utensils up there. Any knives, rather.
Well, there's no chopping station.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get our tortilla.
So how do these tortillas compare to like normal kind of commercial tortillas?
I know they smell very doughy.
Okay.
They're really moist and doughy.
We've been told that they have less water than a traditional tortilla,
Really?
which is why they're shelf stable for
interesting.
longer. Because all the food on the station has to last for 6 to 9 months, depending on. I think they go for a 12-month shelf life.
Right.
So you're going to use the bean paste as the glue.
Yeah, it's a little surface tension.
Okay.
We learned that today, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. It's how things stick to other things
Exactly.
in space.
Stick the steak in there. You want to open that up for
Yeah,
me?
I can open up. Just want a little spout.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
You know, little spice happening. A little sprinkle here.
You can't just pour that in space. That won't work.
No, I know. Well, actually, I think you could if you were close enough to it.
You have to kind of squeeze
Yeah,
and
you'd have to
mash.
kind of, and grab it at the same time. All right, you ready for this?
So there we go. It's a bean burrito, a beef steak burrito.
Yeah.
I think we should taste it.
Yep.
See how you
I'm
did.
gonna give it a little roll here.
I'll go in for.
Go the other end.
There's a little crunch from the chicken and the rice from the chicken and rice.
Not bad.
This is a definite improvement over all the core components.
You can imagine someone in college eating something like that on a regular basis.
I ate much worse stuff than that in college. Thank you so much, Tracy. We'll send the recipe up to Commander Hatfield and see what he thinks, and see you guys in Orlando.
So how'd that burrito turn out?
Tracy put together a great recipe, but like a lot of people who are away from their own kitchen, it's kind of hard to find all the ingredients exactly. But what I did come up with was tortillas, beefsteak, and I found red beans and rice in one package, red beans and rice, plus hot sauce. So I think with these ingredients, I can come pretty close and we'll make something delicious.
Excellent.
Okay, reading Tracy's recipe, what I'm supposed to do is take the bean paste and the steak and the tortillas and put them in the warming oven. Step 1. Okay, food piping hot, ready to mix up. Tracy's recipe was to open up the tortilla, squirt on the nice warm bean paste, and then break up the beefsteak, put the beefsteak in there, squirt on some hot sauce, roll it up like a burrito, ready to eat. Let's give it a try. Space tortilla. Lasts 18 months in this package. Got my tortilla ready. Now, my bean paste. Okay, nice and warm. Squeeze it out of the corner. Cut it open so it makes sort of like a little squirty nozzle so I can squirt it straight on to my tortilla. Ooh, that works well. Okay, we got the beans and rice, and now time to make the steak. What am I going to do with that in the meanwhile? I'm going to hold it in my tortilla package carefully and Velcro that to the table while I'm waiting. Perfect. Beefsteak. Tracy said to break it up into pieces and put it in the tortilla. Oh, it's starting to look good. Ready for the pièce de résistance. Space hot sauce, good and red, nice and spicy. Hot sauce. Okay, what we have here is beans, rice, beef, hot sauce, all wrapped up in a tortilla. That makes it time to try Tracy's recipe. Let's see how it is. The beauty of eating a burrito or a tortilla in space is nothing can fall out. The best it can do is sort of float next to you. I'll eat this end, you watch that end. Hot sauce.
So it ended up being tasty.
It's good.
Chris, how much more difficult is it to assemble a meal in microgravity than it is on Earth?
It's pretty hard to put everything together. And normally as astronauts, we just don't make a mashup. We don't mix our food up. We just eat it one thing after another in a row. Jamie and Adam, you guys probably think this is cool. Our straw has a valve on it, so we can shut it on and off so the stuff doesn't come squirting out all over the place.
Nice.
Very cool.
So what's your first meal going to be when you get back on Earth?
When you first get back to Earth, of course, you feel sick and dizzy, you don't feel like eating at all. It takes a while for your digestive system to get used to be pushed down with gravity on your stomach and everything else, so it takes a few days. But once I get my appetite back, I'm really looking forward to fresh baked bread. The smell coming out of the oven, slather a little butter on top, and then also pizza. Piping hot, thin crust, veggie pizza, extra sauce, extra olives. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, Chris, I hope we were able to spice things up a little bit for you up there.
Thanks. Bye, Chris.
Thanks.
Sure thing, guys. See you next week. This is a Tracy Spacey burrito.